Sasha, I heard something interesting. You're planning to dump Andy on Jaden so you can go out and have fun by yourself, aren't you? To me, that doesn't seem like the kind of stuff my son's wife should be doing to her family, but... Winnie, that's not exactly fair. I wouldn't call it dumping anything on him. Jaden actually suggested it himself. Jaden did? Are you sure? He's busy with work too, isn't he? Yeah, I know, but listen, my friend, you know, the one who moved overseas, she's finally coming back after years away. I haven't seen her in so long, and since Jaden knows how hard I've been working, managing my job, housework, and taking care of Andy, he thought it'd be good for me to take a break. He was being thoughtful, really. He offered to help out this time, and that is why I'll be going out to see my friend. Of course, Jaden would say that. He's too kind for his own good. But you actually taking him up on that and leaving him with all the responsibility? That's just selfish. I bet this isn't the first time either, is it? You've probably been pushing your duties on him all along, haven't you? That's not true. I make sure to do my fair share of housework and childcare. We split things in a way that works for both of us. That's exactly the problem. Women are supposed to handle the home. That's just how it's always been. I don't care what kind of career you have or how many degrees you've earned. Not dedicating yourself fully to the household is just irresponsible. I've told you before, what you lack is proper awareness as a wife. Winnie, I know you don't agree with our way of doing things, but Jaden and I have figured out what works for us. He's happy with how we manage things, and so am I. Ha! There you go again, always talking back. When I was your age, talking to your elders like that would have gotten you a serious scolding. You don't even know how to show proper respect to the family. Honestly, I have no idea why Jaden even married you in the first place. I'm sorry you feel that way, but we've always tried to show up to family gatherings whenever we could. I'm sorry you feel that way. But we've always tried to show up to family gatherings whenever we could. Trying isn't enough. Trying doesn't count. Look at me. I've always made sure to nurture good relationships with our relatives. That's why your uncle is letting us use his land for free. Right, I remember now. That land actually belonged to your late father's older brother, didn't it? Exactly, and that's prime property. If we had to rent it at market price, the cost would be outrageous, but because I've always made the effort to keep those family ties strong, he's letting us use it for free. That's the result of doing things properly. Someone like you, who barely interacts with relatives, could never pull that off. I see. Well, I suppose that's something to think about. Anyway, I'm sorry, but my break's just about over. I need to get back to work. Yeah, go ahead and run back to that precious career of yours. But one day you'll realize just how wrong you've been. Don't come crying to me when you do. Jaden, I'm really sorry this all happened. I never thought I'd end up in the hospital like this.
Hey, there's nothing to apologize for. You fell down the stairs and hit your head, right? They're saying you'll need to stay in for a week of tests, but it's better to be safe. Just focus on getting checked out properly, okay?
Yeah, I know, but you'll be stuck handling everything at home and with Andy. You're busy with work too. Are you sure you'll manage the daycare pickups and everything?
I talked to my boss and explained the situation. They're letting me leave early while you're in the hospital, so it's all good. Honestly, I get to spend more time with Koha, so I'm kind of happy about it. So don't worry.
Thank you, really.
I mean, yeah, it's a shame things turned out this way, but it couldn't be helped. You were supposed to meet your friend too, right?
Yeah, but it's fine. She's planning to visit me here, so I guess that'll have to do.
That's good. Hopefully you'll get another chance to go out when things settle down. Oh, by the way, I let Mom know about your hospital stay.
Wait, you told Winnie?
Yeah, you know how Mom is. She's always calling you about something. I figured if she knew you were in the hospital, she might actually give you some space.
Honestly, that's a relief. I just don't have the energy to deal with her right now.
Yeah, I get that. But the thing is, I think she might have misunderstood something.
Misunderstood?
Well, I told her you were in the hospital, but she kinda hung up in the middle of the conversation. And you know how Mom jumps to conclusions. I'm a little worried.
Honestly, it's probably fine. She's never really cared about me that much anyway. There's always been this weird tension between us. If she's misunderstanding something, maybe it's better to just leave it be. I don't want her feeling like she has to fuss over me.
If that's how you feel, but seriously, if anything happens, promise you'll tell me. I know you've been trying to fix things with her, and I don't want you bottling it all up.
I know, thanks. If something comes up, I'll let you know.
For real, though, even our relatives have noticed how hard you've been trying. Remember that uncle Mom's always talking about? He said you're doing great, so don't push yourself too hard, okay? If it gets to be too much, just say the word. I've got your back.
I know, and I really appreciate it. Anyway, shouldn't you be heading back to work soon?
Ah, shoot. Yeah, I better go, but I'll be back to visit, so don't stress about anything at home. Just take it easy, okay?
Sasha, you really are the worst. Wait, Winnie, what's this about? Did I do something wrong? Don't play dumb, leaving your husband and child alone while he's in the hospital just so you can go hang out with your friends. You're heartless. I always thought you were a lousy wife, but I never imagined you'd stoop this low. Wait, are you talking about Jaden and Andy? What's this rumor about? Don't act so innocent. Jaden called me the other day. He told me he fell down the stairs and had to be hospitalized. Well, I mean, that part is true, but nothing. Meanwhile, you're off having fun with your friends, right? I knew you were selfish, but now you've shown your true colors. Just you wait. I'm telling the entire family about this. Everyone will know what kind of person you really are, and we'll all make sure you're held accountable. You're misunderstanding things. Misunderstanding? What exactly am I misunderstanding? That phone call from Jaden, you hung up before he could finish explaining. You only heard half the story. Oh, please, don't think you can confuse me with some clever story, acting like you're so smart. Just because you've got a fancy degree doesn't mean you can talk your way out of this. My family's full of successful people, company presidents, you name it. We can make someone like you disappear in no time. Don't think for a second you can escape this. I'm not trying to escape, I'm just asking you to listen to me. As if any excuse you make now will change what you've done. Fine, go ahead, say whatever you want. Not that it'll matter. Everyone's already made up their minds about you. So go on, spill it out. I'm listening. Or did you already give up? Hey Sasha, are you even still there? No, never mind. It's fine. Just like I said yesterday, I've already told all our relatives everything. This is the end for you. You'd better divorce Jaden and disappear already. I see. You're really fast when it comes to this kind of thing. That's unfortunate. Unfortunate? You're still acting all high and mighty? Do you even get it? After this, there's no way out for you. You're finished. I'm not looking down on you. Personally, I didn't want things to turn out like this. That's why I find what you did disappointing. Disappointing? Please, I couldn't be happier. In fact, I feel fantastic knowing that I'm finally getting rid of that thorn in my side. A thorn in your side? Are you talking about me? Of course I am. A high-achieving, beautiful, perfect little wife who's somehow also a super mom. Seriously? Do you have any idea how much of a headache you've been for me? I worked hard to build my place in this family, and then you show up and just steal all the attention. People stopped noticing me because you were always being praised. I've been stuck feeling like I don't belong, all because of you. I was just doing what I could. I never meant to make you feel that way. Well, that's exactly why you're so annoying. I was nice to you at first, but I couldn't stand it anymore. I knew you'd slip up eventually, so I kept my eye on you. And guess what? It paid off. Now you're out of here. Tough luck. I did think it was odd how your attitude suddenly changed, so this is what it was all about. But things won't go the way you want. Huh! What can you possibly do now? You're cornered. There's no way out of this. Actually, I'm the one who's been in the hospital. Wait, what? Don't start with the lies. That's just pathetic. It's not a lie. If you don't believe me, I can send you a copy of my diagnosis. That's impossible. I know for a fact that Jaden told me. Right, Jaden called you, but like I said before, you hung up before he finished. You jumped to conclusions, thinking I was out partying or whatever. You ignored the part where he was about to tell you I'd been hospitalized. So you're saying this whole time? Yeah, you were too busy digging for dirt on me to actually pay attention to what was really happening. Maybe next time, instead of twisting everything to fit your own narrative, you should actually listen. You might find things aren't always as convenient as you think. Jaden, can you believe this? Sasha's caused a huge mess.
What now?
That girl knew I was misunderstanding things and she didn't even correct me.
Oh, you mean the hospital thing? Yeah, I know about that. So what?
So what? Are you serious? I'd already told all the relatives before I found out the truth. Now they're all looking at me like I'm some horrible person who just bashed a hard-working wife. Even your brother's furious with me. It's a nightmare. I swear you should just divorce that awful woman right now.
Yeah, what a disgrace.
Right? I knew you'd agree. She might have all those fancy degrees, but what kind of person manipulates people like that? Honestly, I can't imagine what kind of upbringing leads to someone being so nasty. Oh wait, her mother's dead, isn't she? Guess that explains it. Figured she'd end up so messed up with only her dad raising her. What a joke.
If you want to see what kind of parent raises someone like that, go find a mirror.
What?
I told Sasha not to correct your misunderstanding.
Wait, what? Why would you do that?
When you were messaging Sasha, I was sitting right next to her in the hospital room. I saw your messages as they came in. Sasha was about to clear things up, but I stopped her. So if you're calling someone a disgrace, you're talking about me.
Hold on. Why would you even do that?
Are you seriously asking me that? You jumped to conclusions, started trashing my wife, and then dragged the whole family into your nonsense. Did you really think I'd just sit back and let you get away with that?
But earlier, you said Sasha was terrible too.
I wasn't talking about Sasha, I was talking about you. Sasha's been trying so hard to mend things with you. Even after all your snide remarks and cold attitude, she kept telling me that deep down you're a good person. She held on to the hope that one day you'd come around, and this is how you repay her?
I didn't mean for things to go that far. I was just mistaken. If I'd known the truth, I wouldn't have done it.
Oh, please, mistake or not, you've been nitpicking and criticizing Sasha for ages. She put up with it because she believed you were family and wanted to make things right. But I've had enough. I'm not some saint who can just keep watching his wife get insulted over and over again. I won't let it happen anymore. Until Sasha forgives you, stay away from both of us.
Sasha, I'm really sorry about what happened. It was all my misunderstanding, and I ended up causing you so much trouble. I've been reflecting on it. I'm sure Jaden told you, but even I have my limits. The The way things went down this time, the things you said, were beyond anything I've ever experienced. Do you understand that? Of course I do. That's why I'm asking. Please, could you not underestimate Jaden anymore? No matter how many times I try to reach out, he never responds to me. And when he finds out how angry he is, the other relatives are going to make things even worse for me. Just thinking about it, it's overwhelming. I've heard that the other relatives are pretty upset too. Especially your father, your brother, and your uncle. Those three are particularly furious. Yes, like I mentioned before, the land where our house stands is actually borrowed from your brother. If your uncle gets involved, we might lose the house and the land altogether. But I can't bear the thought of that. This house holds so many memories of my husband and Jaden. So you want me to forgive you? I honestly think that's asking a bit much, don't you? I know it sounds like a lot, but I really understand now. I've been harsh with you because of my emotions, and that was wrong of me. Is this about what you said before, that I took your place as the new daughter-in-law? Yes, unlike you, I don't have much of an education, and I barely know anyone. The only real connections I have are with family, so when you came in and seemed to take my place, I got scared. I feared losing the little I had. I see now that I was childish, and I deeply regret my actions. I'm so sorry. I know you've had a difficult past too, losing your mother when you were young. Before all this, I honestly thought that maybe this was what it was like to have a mother. Every time you showed me kindness, I felt so happy, like I was finally getting the attention I never had. Do you think it's possible for us to go back to having that kind of relationship? Wait, you really think so? You want us to rebuild our relationship? I'll do whatever it takes to make things right, and I promise this kind of thing will never happen again. You can trust me on that. I'll take you at your word, but just know this. There can't be another chance after this one. Sasha, I'm really sorry about disrupting the family gathering like this. As for the drinks, just some extra beer should be fine, and the rest doesn't need to be anything special. Feel free to get whatever you want. Understood. By the way, how's Andy doing? He was playing with the other kids, so Jaden and I went shopping by ourselves. I hope he hasn't been causing you any trouble. Oh, Andy's still having a great time playing with the others. Honestly, it's clear how much he loves playing with the other kids. He didn't even want to follow you guys. It's like he prefers being with them more than you and Jaden. Come on now, you're the one who encouraged him to stay behind and play with the others, aren't you? Though, to be fair, it seems like Andy enjoys hanging out with the older kids, so it's fine. Well, don't be like that. I know it must be a bit lonely that he didn't want to come with you, but that's just a mother's selfishness. As a mom, you have to sometimes let go, you know? You're right. I have a lot to learn from that. By the way, speaking of Andy, is there anything he's really wanting right now? Like a favorite toy or something he's into these days? Huh? Why are you asking all of a sudden? His birthday isn't for a while, you know? Well, you see, now that things are better between us, I want to make sure my relationship with my grandson gets better too. I have no hidden agenda here. Oh, I see. Well, I think he's really into those movies for girls they show on Saturday mornings lately. Ah, I've actually heard about that from Jaden before. Would something like that be the kind of toy Andy would like? Yeah, probably. That's all I needed to know. Thank you so much. All right, I'll leave you to it. Good luck with your shopping. Jaden, I'm so sorry for what happened yesterday. You know I didn't mean any harm.
You tried to manipulate Andy with toys, getting him to say bad things about Sasha, didn't you? And now you're telling me it wasn't intentional? What kind of excuse is that? Do you think I'm stupid?
I truly am sorry. After everything that happened the other day, I just couldn't bear the uncomfortable atmosphere around the relatives anymore. Sasha forgave me, but even then, some of them still look at me with disdain. So I thought if bad things about Sasha came from Andy, maybe they would reconsider and soften their views on me.
You have completely lost it, haven't you? Do you really think Sasha just let everything go without any pain? She swallowed her feelings and forgave you for the things you've done, but this is how you repay her? After all that effort, you throw it all away like it's nothing? I'm honestly ashamed to even call you my mother right now.
Please don't say that. You've got to help me here. Tell the others it was just a misunderstanding, that it wasn't intentional, please.
I really wish it had been a misunderstanding. But the truth is, I'm just relieved Andy spoke up after we got back from shopping. If he hadn't, we could have ended up putting him in a terrible situation. How could you even think of using a little child like that? The worst part is, you didn't even care that you were doing it for your own benefit. You're still trying to manipulate the situation, and I can't believe you've gone this far.
I know it sounds awful, but surely you understand what I'm going through, don't you? The way things have been with the relatives right now. Everyone treats me like I'm some kind of burden or an embarrassment, and it's all because of what happened before. The way they look at me, like I'm the cause of everything. How could I not try to fix it?
This whole mess is the result of your misunderstanding, isn't it? And honestly, the way you've judged Sasha all along without trying to understand her, that's what started this whole mess in the first place.
But I had to do something. You don't get it. I have my own position to protect. I had to do something to make sure I wasn't completely pushed out. I couldn't just sit back and let it happen.
Sasha genuinely wanted to improve things with you. She truly cared and was trying to make it work. But now look at what you've done. She forgave you. She took the hard step to mend things. And then you go ahead and destroy everything with your actions. And now you think I should just let you off the hook after all of this? No. You've crossed the line. I can't stand by you anymore. From now on, you're not my mother. I'm cutting all ties with you today. There's no going back from this.
Jaden, please wait. I know I've made mistakes, but can't we talk about this? Jaden? Sasha, please, I'm begging you. Help me. I'll do anything. Just talk to Jaden for me. If this goes on, he'll cut me off for good, and I don't know what I'll do. I've already heard all of this from Jaden, and honestly, after everything, I'm on his side this time. No, please don't say that. You wanted to improve our relationship so badly, didn't you? Even when I was in the hospital, you forgave me, even though things were tense between us. I've been thinking a lot, and I'm really sorry this time, I promise. Please, Sasha, I'm begging you, forgive me just this once. I'm honestly tired of hearing you say you're sorry. I don't know how many times I've heard those words before. Last time, I let it go because it was something between just the two of us, but now, you've dragged my daughter into this mess. Now, I can't even begin to explain how hurt I am. Honestly, I don't even want to continue trying to fix things with you anymore. But what else am I supposed to do? I have nothing left. All I have is my family, and if I lose Jaden and my relatives, I'll be completely alone. I don't know where else to turn. No one else will be there for me. So, you're telling me you used your own grandson to try and secure your position, to hold on to whatever you could, and now, after everything that's happened, you're asking me to just forgive you and forget it? Please, don't be so cold. We are family, aren't we? You don't understand. I'm already losing everything. This isn't just about me anymore. It's about keeping my home. If I lose everything else, that house is all I have left. It holds all the memories of my late husband and our life together. It's the only thing I've got. The one thing that's still mine. If the relatives won't back me, if Jaden won't stand by me, what am I supposed to do? Please, you have to understand. If you just let it go, everything will settle down. Everything can go back to normal. Your uncle won't take the land back. Jaden won't cut ties with me, and everything will be okay. Please, I'm begging you, Sasha. For the sake of my family, can't you just forgive me and make this all right again? So, if I forgive you, Jaden will forgive you and your uncle won't take the land? Are you seriously asking me to believe that? At this point, everything's already fallen apart. I'm sorry, but I've made up my mind. No matter what, I'm not going to forgive you this time. Do you really think you can come to me asking for forgiveness after everything that's happened? I'm your daughter-in-law. I should be able to trust you, but after what you've done, that's impossible. You've betrayed that trust in ways I can't ignore. Now, you want me to just forgive you because you're desperate to keep your home? It's not that simple. As a daughter-in-law, I put up with so much from you, and I always tried to keep the peace. But as a mother, I have to protect my child. You don't know what it's like to have someone threaten my child's safety, to use them as leverage. That's something I can't and won't tolerate. And I think, as a mother yourself, you must understand that feeling deep down. I understand how you feel, I really do. But please, can't you try and hold back just this time? If you don't, I really don't know how I'll cope. This could be the end for me, for everything I've worked for all my hopes. Wait a minute, didn't you tell me that you were planning to have the entire family turn against me? Well, if that's your plan, I'll tell you now. You can expect the same from me. Prepare yourself, because the consequences are coming, whether you like it or not. The fallout from the recent events had been far more profound than anyone had expected. My mother-in-law, who had once been a central figure in our family, had always exuded an air of authority and self-assuredness. However, that image of strength had come crashing down in the aftermath of Jaden's actions. When Jaden, in his intense anger, severed all ties with her, it was clear that it wasn't just an impulsive decision. It was the culmination of years of deep-seated frustration. Jaden had always been the one trying to maintain some semblance of connection with her, despite the tension, despite the manipulation, despite everything she had done. He had been the one willing to give her second chances. Perhaps because he couldn't bear the thought of completely losing his mother, despite how toxic their relationship had become. But this time, he was done. His anger was palpable. And when it reached its boiling point, Jaden made a final, irreversible decision to cut her out of his life. This decision wasn't just about the words he spoke, it was about a shift in the dynamics of their relationship, one that had been deteriorating for years. Jaden's anger was not just born from one incident. It had built up over time, accumulating from years of manipulation and disappointment. There had been moments when we all saw the strain between them, but we had hoped that it could be fixed, that something could be done to salvage the relationship. But now, it seemed that nothing could mend the rift. Jaden had made up his mind that the damage was too great, and he was not going to subject himself to her toxicity anymore. He had chosen to walk away. And with that decision, he severed the last ties that bound him to her. The emotional toll this decision took on my mother-in-law was devastating, and I'm not sure she ever fully understood the weight of her actions in bringing it about. The truth was, losing her son wasn't just about losing Jaden as a person, it was about losing a part of her identity. For so long, she had clung to her role as his mother, seeing herself as the center of his life. But now, that role was gone, and ironically, it was because of her own actions that she found herself with no one to turn to. She had pushed away the people who had cared about her, alienated the ones who had once been close, and now she was left with nothing but the remnants of a broken relationship. But Jaden wasn't the only one who had grown exhausted by her behavior. My uncle, who owned the family's land, had always been more reserved in his dealings with her. He wasn't one to voice his displeasure often, but over the years, he had become increasingly frustrated by her actions, her manipulations, her constant scheming, and her inability to respect the boundaries of others had worn him down. My uncle had always been a man of patience, but even he had limits, and this latest incident was the final straw. The land, which had been in the family for generations, had been a source of pride and stability for my mother-in-law. But now it was no longer hers to claim. The land had always been seen as a symbol of security, of power, of legacy. Losing it was a huge blow to her, one that represented not just the loss of property, but also the loss of her place in the family. It was a harsh reality to face. Her loss of the land was symbolic of something deeper, the unraveling of the fabric of her relationships with the people who had once been closest to her. This wasn't just about material things, it was about the relationships that had sustained her, that had kept her grounded, and now they were gone. Her ties to the family were severed, and she had no one left to turn to. The people who had once accepted her flaws and tolerated her behavior were now gone, and though she had been given numerous chances to change, to make amends, she had squandered every opportunity. The betrayal was too great, and the consequences were unavoidable. As my mother-in-law faced this devastating reality, she retreated further into herself. She rented a small, dingy apartment, one that was a far cry from the comfortable, spacious home she had once lived in. The apartment was dark, poorly lit, and filled with the remnants of her failed attempts at a new beginning. It was a stark contrast to the life she had once enjoyed. The walls, cracked and worn, seemed to echo the emptiness inside her. She had nothing left but the silence of her own thoughts. It was almost as though the apartment had become a physical manifestation of her loneliness. There were no family gatherings, no visits from friends, no laughter. Only the heavy weight of regret and isolation. Her days were spent in silence, filled with regret and self-loathing. There was no one there to check on her, no one who cared enough to offer comfort. The bitterness that had festered for so long now seemed to seep into every part of her existence. She had no one to blame but herself, but even that realization seemed to offer her little relief. The damage was done, and now she was left to face the consequences of her actions alone. It was a lonely, agonizing existence, one that I don't think she had anticipated. She had spent years building walls between herself and the people she should have cherished, and now she was paying the price for those choices. On the other hand, my own life was heading in a completely different direction. While my mother-in-law's life crumbled around her, I was fortunate to be surrounded by love and support. My husband and I had worked hard to create a stable, nurturing home for ourselves and for our son, Andy. We had made a conscious effort to build a life that was grounded in mutual respect, love, and understanding. Our relationship had grown stronger over the years, not because of some grand gestures or dramatic moments, but because of the quiet, everyday efforts we made to support each other, to communicate, and to work through life's challenges together. Andy, our son, had been the greatest joy in our lives. Watching him grow, seeing his personality develop, and witnessing his curiosity and joy for life had been a constant reminder of how precious family really is. He had brought so much light and warmth into our home. His laughter filled the house with a sense of peace and happiness that was impossible to ignore. But even in the midst of all this joy, I found myself reflecting on something that had become increasingly clear as Andy grew older. He wanted a sibling. At first, his longing for a brother or sister was subtle. Just the occasional comment when he saw his cousins playing together, or when we visited other families. But as time went on, it became more pronounced. He started asking when he could have a brother or sister, why his friends had siblings, and why he didn't. He would tell us stories of how much fun it would be to have someone to share his toys with, someone to play games with, someone to have adventures with. It was clear that he felt a deep desire for companionship, for a sibling to share his life with. At first, my husband and I dismissed it as a passing phase. Children often go through phases where they long for things they don't have. But as the requests became more frequent, more insistent, it was hard to ignore. We started talking about the possibility of expanding our family. We weighed the pros and cons, the challenges and the rewards. Could we handle another child? Would it disrupt the balance we had created in our lives? The decision wasn't an easy one, but after discussing it at length, we both agreed that it was the right time. We were ready for another child, ready to give Andy the sibling he so dearly wanted. As we made the decision to try for another baby, I felt a mixture of emotions. There was excitement, of course, at the thought of expanding our family and giving Andy a sibling, someone to share his life with. But there was also a sense of nervous anticipation. Life with one child had its challenges, but adding another would undoubtedly change the dynamics of our home. The noise level would increase, the mess would grow. and the demands on our time and energy would multiply. But despite all of that, I couldn't help but feel a deep sense of joy. The thought of welcoming another child into our family filled me with hope and excitement for the future. We were preparing ourselves for the chaotic, joyful, and exhausting journey that comes with raising 2 children. I could already picture the laughter and bickering between Andy and his sibling, the shared experiences and the bond they would form. It was going to be a challenge, no doubt, but it was a challenge I was eager to take on. As we look to the future, I couldn't help but feel an overwhelming sense of gratitude. Gratitude for the love and support that had defined my relationship with my husband. Gratitude for the joy that Andy had brought into our lives. And gratitude for the opportunity to build a bigger, more joyful family. It was a new chapter, one filled with uncertainty, but also with endless possibilities. And as I thought about it, I realized that despite all the challenges we had faced, this was a future worth looking forward to. Thank you for watching and listening. We hope you enjoyed the video. Don't forget to like this video and subscribe. Also, feel free to leave a comment about what you thought of the story. We look forward to seeing you at the next story.